One Direction, Little Mix, Carrie Underwood, Jennifer Hudson, Ollie Murs, Fifth Harmony. All mega successful acts who have had massive careers, but who also had their start on singing shows such as X Factor and American Idol. But today we're looking at the lady who paved the way for all of them, the original American Idol, Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson won the first season of American Idol in 2002 and has had an amazing career. She has released 8 studio albums, of which all of them have hit the top 3 on the Billboard 200. Her biggest album is her second album, Breakaway, which despite being her lowest peaking album at number 3, is her best selling album throughout her career, selling over 6 million copies in just the US alone. It's gone on to sell over 12 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best selling albums of the 21st century. Kelly Clarkson as of 2020 has sold over 65 million records worldwide, with hits including Miss Independent, Breakaway, Since You've Been Gone, Because of You, and Mr. Know-It-All. And that's not including her number 1 hits, A Moment Like This, My Life Would Suck Without You, and Stronger. She is also the first artist to top Billboard's pop, adult contemporary, country, and dance charts. She has won many accolades throughout her career, including 3 VMAs, 4 AMAs, and 3 Grammys, which she currently holds the record for the most nominations in the pop vocal and pop solo performance categories. And just to top it all off, she's written 2 children's books, which just questions what have we done with our own lives. So you can definitely see she's mega successful and doesn't show any sign of slowing down anytime soon. With her new multi-language single, I Dare You, a successful daytime TV show, appearing in the new Trolls movie, is a coach on The Voice, and is set to host the 2020 Billboard Music Awards whenever that goes on. However, things haven't always been easy for the singer. So today on Music Rewind, we are going to delve into the troubles of Kelly Clarkson's successful yet sketchy and controversial career. Now, we are exposing Kelly Clarkson. We love Kelly Clarkson, but her career does make us question the music industry a lot. Now, before we get into it, we must do this.
No, Kelly Clarkson!
Sorry, I just couldn't resist. Before going on to American Idol, Kelly Clarkson was working multiple jobs to finance demos that she would send on to record labels, but to little avail. She was rejected by Jive Records and Interscope Records, while being turned down by almost every US label for sounding too black, due to her music being soulful. I will link an article below where she says this, because it's an interesting read. To make matters even worse, she moved into her flat just to have it burned down and lose everything she had except for 1 box, which then meant she had to move back to Texas, which ultimately worked out in her favor as she would audition for the show that changed her life. After winning American Idol, she won $1 million and a record deal with RCA Records, and had industry legend Clive Davis executive produce her debut album. We'll get into that guy a little bit later. But that's not all she won, because winning a singing show also meant she had to star in a film, because that makes absolute sense. Kelly Clarkson stars in the classic film, he says sarcastically, From Justin to Kelly. The film was received poorly, very poorly, and underperformed at the box office massively. In regards to the film, Kelly has shown her distaste and hatred for the film multiple times, and said that the face she made after winning was her basically going, oh shit, now I have to do the film. And said she cried for hours to get out of it, saying, quote, I cried for a solid hour on the phone with creators of American Idol and pleaded to be let out of the contract that said I had to do the film From Justin to Kelly. Miss Independent was Kelly Clarkson's first single after winning American Idol, but it wasn't hers to begin with. According to the song's producer, Rhett Lawrence, the song was pitched to Destiny's Child, who turned it down. It was then passed on to Christina Aguilera for her album Stripped, and actually co-wrote on the song, but ultimately left it off the album. Kelly's manager at the time, Simon Fuller, and Clive Davis suggested that Kelly should probably finish off the song, which she did. However, according to Kelly, RCA Records didn't want the song to be on her debut album, Thankful, and she argued with the label to a point of literally crying to get the song on the record. However, this isn't the only drama with the song. Kelly never knew that Christina Aguilera and Matt Morris had writing credits on the song until she looked at the liner notes on the album. She explained one of her A&R managers at the time purposely kept this information from her because they did not want her to turn down the song based on Aguilera's credit. Kelly said what bothered her was the fact that she'd given interviews and made it look like she'd written the song solely with the producer and made her look like a villain. Christina responded and said that she didn't blame Kelly but the label, Clive Davis, and Rhett Lawrence for giving Kelly the song without her knowledge. Clive Davis said in his memoir, The Soundtrack to My Life, that Christina knew the song was passed on to Kelly, but again, we'll get into him in a little while. Kelly isn't the first artist to have a major problem with their record label, but hers is by far one of the most tumultuous relationships. For some background, Clive Davis is a major fixture in the music industry and has worked with legends such as Whitney Houston and Barry Manilow. In his memoir, The Soundtrack of My Life, he spoke about Kelly multiple times, but one thing he said was that she didn't want her now signature hit since she'd begun to be on her album Breakaway, and reportedly bursting into hysterical sobbing about it. Kelly hit back at that claim, saying that she was essentially bullied and what he said was false. She said she only cried once when she played her song Because of You, which she tried to get on her first album but was unsuccessful. He hated it and told her that she was a shitty writer who should be grateful for the gift that he bestowed upon her. The song, we should mention, received critical acclaim, won Best Female Video at the VMAs, and is one of her best-selling songs worldwide, selling over 7 million copies. My December was Kelly's third studio album, but her first without Clive Davis as executive producer. This is regarded as Kelly's underrated album or sometimes forgotten album because of all the controversy. As we have seen, Kelly Clarkson has been undermined so many times, and this album has her listed as a writer on every single track and has a darker sound than all of her previous work. A few things to note about this album is that Clive and the label were not happy that this album was being released because it's not as commercial as Breakaway, and there was a lot of drama that unfolded that hindered the album's success. The album only had one hit single, Never Again, which due to very strong sales debuted in the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 at number 8, but didn't receive any substantial airplay and was pulled from many radio stations only a couple of weeks following its release. This album definitely deserves its own video with all the drama that occurred, but in short, the label and Clive didn't like the direction of the album, and Kelly revealed that she was offered $10 million to remove 5 songs for more radio-friendly songs, which she declined. My Life Was Stuck Without You was Kelly's second number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, after her Idol-winning track A Moment Like This, and until last year held the record for the biggest jump in Billboard history, jumping 96 places to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, which was then beaten by Taylor Swift when she climbed 98 places to number 2 with Me. But why am I mentioning this song? Well, it has to do with the process of it being made, or actually who made it, Dr. Luke. Yep, that guy. Kelly revealed to a radio station that her label forced her to work with Dr. Luke or they would not release her album. And just take a look at exactly what she said.
I mean, there's a lot of times in my career where you don't see my name on a song, and that's because a lot of times I don't write, like sometimes I don't write them, but a lot of times I do change the song.
Yeah.
In a way that probably you should ask for credit. Yeah. But I don't because the song was already great. You know, I just made it more me. So if I deserve it, I usually ask. And I did deserve it on that song just because I changed it a bit. But I really I just didn't want to, and especially at that time, I was so frustrated that I was forced to work, like, basically they were going to sit on my record unless I did what they wanted. And I was so frustrated because I literally said, anyone in the world but this one person. I will work with anyone you want to put in my path. But, like, it was just this one thing, and I asked not to work with Dr. Lee just because I had not a good experience with him. And it was a one thing, and they just wouldn't even give it to me. I just had a negative experience. The guy is super talented. I'm not negating that. Like, that's a fact, obviously. But it just was something I didn't want to, so it frustrated me. And I was like, you know what? They brought up writing credit at the end because they were like, well, you changed the song. And I was like, I don't want my name near his. I want to pretend this didn't happen in my life, and I want to forget it. there's
that's
hundreds
why I
of
bring it
thousands
up.
of dollars gone because of that. You know what I'm saying? You can make, or millions.
Yeah.
Actually, that song was huge. But I just mean, I was making a point to the people working with me going, this is how much I didn't want to do this.
Yeah,
like,
that
I don't
speaks
care
volumes.
about the money. Like, I don't care about, oh, you're going to be the most famous person ever if you do this.
She lost millions on that song just to make a point, like she did by releasing My December. Thank you for watching, I hope you found this interesting. Kelly makes amazing music, and in doing so isn't afraid to show that the music industry isn't fun and games. My December will definitely get its own video, and I encourage you to read into it because it's very fascinating. For now, thanks for unwinding and rewinding in time.